Download more dank, edgy memes at memes.com. Hello guys, welcome back to another r/askreddit video. The thread we will be reviewing today is what is illegal but most people don't even know it. This sounds like a good one. Ready, set, go. Detonating a nuclear bomb within city limits in Chico, California will result in a hefty $500 fine. Is this just ground zero, or if the area of the blast affects city limits? Asking the real questions here. I have $500, I'll just pay the fine. Whoa, calm down money bags. Profiting from the photographs of Eiffel Tower taken at night. Wait, what? Copyright violation. In reality, this is an issue for anyone taking photographs of any piece of architecture, as the designer/architect/firm usually holds copyright to the design and its likeness. That said, such rights are often conferred to the building owner when a project is commissioned. Either way, if it's been designed by someone holds a copyright and is fully within their rights to request royalties for anyone photographing it, using it for commercial purposes. The Salmon Act 1986 is an act of parliament which outlines the difference between legal and illegal salmon fishery, among other things. The act also makes it illegal to handle salmon in suspicious circumstances. Fish Jenga. Lemonade stands. As typically implemented, absolutely. As a UNI project, I wrote a paper detailing the process to set up a legal lemonade stand in a specific jurisdiction. You had to address health department requirements, get a business license, apply for a vendor permit, obtain insurance. In the jurisdiction, this was a requirement for the vendor permit, and request zoning approval, which may or may not require a use variance. This sounds like a fantastic idea for a presentation. If I ever have to do another school presentation where I can choose the topic, I'm 100% stealing this. Thank you ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank my mentor and friend, LJR55555. Carrying a permanent marker or other permanent staining stationery is illegal in many countries under graffiti laws. How am I supposed to transport my markers home when I bought them? One of my friends studied abroad in the UK, from the US, and didn't realize pepper spray is illegal there until a British student told her. Most female students at our university in the US carry it everywhere, so it didn't even occur to her it would be illegal. No clue how she got through the airport with it in the first place, but luckily she was able to dispose of it without getting in trouble. It was illegal some time ago when we went to Canada as well. My friend and I took a road trip from NC up and across the Canadian border and they confiscated our pepper spray. Didn't get in any sort of trouble, but the guys at the border just explained that we couldn't have that over there. In the US, giving any federal employee, especially postal workers, any gift in an amount over $20 each and no greater than $50 in a year. I believe the government wanted to try to ban any gifts, but people were so attached to their postal workers and wanted to give them something, so they did relent. With those strict guidelines above, having a lobster of a certain size in your possession, or fish. Not that I often carry a fish around. What if you're walking around and you need a fish? Better to have one and not need it than to need one and not have it. In Texas, there is still a law on the books that it is a crime to carry bolt cutters around. It is a leftover from the days of cattle rustlers, when the bad guys would use bolt cutters to take down barbed wire fencing. Pretty sure it hasn't been prosecuted in 100 years. To be fair, having a bolt cutter in the street means that you're either a gardener, or about to steal a bicycle. You can give a friend or family member a lift for free, but if they have paid you, even fuel costs, then you are now unlicensed taxi. There is a long list of over-the-counter medication you can legally purchase, but cannot take it into another country. You can't legally transport drugs in containers other than their original ones with original labels, so transporting drugs in those pill sorting containers is technically illegal. That being said, I do it all the time, so I went to the United Arab Emirates where my prescription migraine medicine carries a severe penalty for possession. Ended up getting a signed and notarized letter from the Secretary of State that allowed me to carry it in the UAE. They never checked. Owning more than 6 dildos in TX. That's why I leased them. In Arizona I had to sign a piece of paper when I rented my first apartment stating there was a limit of how many women could live on the premises. This is to prevent brothels. You have to know how to play an accordion in North Korea to be able to teach. Adding insult to injury, there. Having shit hanging from your rear view mirror. Edit, wasn't speaking of the brown, stinky variety. Hanging literal shit from your rear view is not illegal to my knowledge. My friend got pulled over for having a little Trees air freshener hanging from it. In the state of Illinois you may not have more than 75 salamanders on your person. Yesterday I learned that riding a bike while drunk is just as illegal as drunk driving, just not regularly enforced. You can even get a DUI on a horse too. Pretty much anything legally considered a vehicle. Not in Florida because, as you said, a horse is not considered a vehicle there. I was a cop in Florida for 14 years, and one of the most interesting brass chewings I've seen was when an overzealous cop arrested someone on a horse for DUI. Imagine a red-faced cowboy wannabe. What the hell were you thinking, Bubba? The horse ain't drunk. And even if he were, last I checked it ain't a crime to walk drunk. The last bit was wrong, by the way. It can be a crime to walk drunk if also engaged in disorderly conduct. Sergeant calls everyone Bubba was not the brightest man, but he could rant like no one's business. Riding mowers, on the other hand, were involved in quite a few DUIs. Apparently hunting whales with a harpoon from your airplane in Arkansas, this is legit. How TF are you hunting whales in a landlocked state? From an airplane. 'Cause you cannot use boats. They have really good range, they get them from a few states over. California law stating that it is illegal to wash your neighbor's car without their permission. Also, in San Fran and Long Beach here you cannot store anything other than an automobile in your garage. In my California city, it was illegal to wash your own car, outside of legal car washing businesses. Is this because of water shortages? Yep. Business could still offer car washes but they had to use reclaimed water. Importing kinda surprise eggs to the US from your trip abroad. You won't go to jail, but if you are unlucky and the customs agent is not very lenient you can face a fine for every egg you tried to smuggle in. According to some sources the fine per egg could go up to $2,500. But I couldn't find a case where someone was actually fined that much. The most I could find in my 5-minute research was a Canadian woman who got fined $300 Canadian for trying to bring in one egg. I guess in most cases the customs agents will just confiscate the eggs and give you a warning. My aunt who passed away several years ago used to give us the ones from Austria all the time. Don't see why they care if it's for personal use. The law is not specifically about kinder eggs. The US just has a law that any food sold cannot contain inedible ingredients. Which kinda makes sense. Tickling someone without their consent is a form of assault. But yeah, battery, actually, in many places. The difference being battery is physical, while assault doesn't have to be, can be verbal or intimidation. Would suck to be that guy in prison. What are you in for? Battery. Did you at least teach them a lesson? Sure. They peed their pants, I guess. Walking down the street with an ice cream cone in your back pocket in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Apparently, there was a law that if a horse was on your property, you could claim it as your own. In comes the ice cream cone as a lure for the horse as you lead them to your property. Oh, I read it wrong. I thought, why would you put ice cream in your back pocket? Like, doesn't it melt? But now I get it. In Oklahoma, it's illegal to make an ugly face at a dog. In my state, CT, it's illegal to sell pickles that don't bounce. I might have to come buy some pickles and make sure they bounce. I'm straight up be in the store bouncing pickles and testing that out. If you live in London, you're not allowed to shake the dust off your rug outside your house after 8 in the morning. I get this one. In the past, and presumably now as well, people are walking to work and going about their day at that time. Houses used to have huge rugs, runners that would need to be beaten outside. I've seen pictures of people doing this while hanging out a window. Imagine you're just walking to work and suddenly you get hit with a shower of dust. In Wisconsin it is illegal for horses to eat fire hydrants. Illegal to throw condoms from parade floats in Louisiana, although it's not heavily enforced lol. Also illegal to have reptiles less than 200 yards from a parade in Louisiana. How often do people throw condoms from parade floats that it can be enforced, but not heavily? Well my little kittens, I feel like we enjoyed some quality time together reading these Reddit comments. If you would like to make me happy, please leave a like on this video. Until next time, memes.com heading out.